I'm Nicole Burley. It is Tuesday, July 20th. This is Rush Hour. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Here is what's happening in your nation right now. Fresh Delta variant concerns in Florida. But Governor Ron DeSantis says do not expect mask mandates or a return to lockdowns. And a home turned to rubble after a house explosion leaves one person dead in upstate New York. We are live in that neighborhood with what's left. And fireworks in D.C. tonight. Here, Dr. Fauci accused a senator of lying about the pandemic. We'll get to News Nation's Joe Khalil in just a moment. He has that fiery back and forth, which turned into a shouting match at times. But first, we have to tell you, this is an unthinkable story out of Arizona. First responders rushing to a house fire, but that instead forced to run for their lives as a shooter targets them. We know one person was killed in that chaos, and News Nation's Adrian Bankert is here. Adrian, so we're getting our first look at this body camera footage, and this was just released by police.
Yes, this story is absolutely crazy, Nicole. It has several twists and turns. The person who died was a neighbor who was trying to help firefighters put out that fire when bullets started flying that Sunday afternoon. And we want to warn you, some of the video is disturbing.
And just asking how they pulling a pre-connect for primary surgeon fire attack. This will be a working incident.
Shots fired. Code 99. We got shots being fired. No units come to the scene. We need TPD stat.
Tucson police say the suspect, 35-year-old Leslie Scarlett, was at the scene of this fire, then drove about a mile away to a nearby park where he shot two first responders who were sitting in an ambulance. Then Scarlett returned to the house fire and began shooting at both firefighters and neighbors trying to help put that fire out.
The real question we should be asking is, how can we coordinate the work of our criminal justice and mental health systems to prevent these terrible attacks? Who are these ticking time bombs? And is there anything we can do working together instead of in silos to predict their level of risk? How does someone like the suspect in this case, a prohibited possessor, even come to have a firearm?
Scarlett is currently hospitalized in extremely critical condition. Now, police say they don't know why he went on that rampage, but the tragic story doesn't end there. The neighbor who was killed, 44-year-old Corey Saunders, died in front of his 11-year-old son. And firefighters found human remains inside the burning home. The mother of the three children who live there is unaccounted for. Police believe she is dead, and right now the cause of the fire is also unknown. Nicole.
Oh, absolutely horrible story. All right, Adrian, thank you. All right, let's take you live to Tokyo now, where they are waking up to some major developments when it comes to the Summer Olympics. The first acknowledgement the actual games might be in jeopardy due to an increase in COVID cases. And News Nation's Aaron Nolan joining us now. Aaron, just hours away from competition, days away from opening ceremonies, and this big news.
Yeah, the ebbs and flow of these Olympic Games hit hard again today, Nicole, as uncertainty strikes. In a press conference late last night, two senior members of the organizing committee confirmed these games might, in fact, be in jeopardy. With just a few days until opening ceremony and with events starting tomorrow, the infection rates among participants continues to climb. Vaccination rates in the country are going up, but still collectively pretty low. Those factors leading the president of the Tokyo 2020 committee to say right now, as more athletes funnel into Japan, they are not at zero infection cases, and that, quote, because of that, there is a growing concern. He went on to say people, quote, feel that the current situation appears to show that the playbooks that were meant to guarantee security is not providing a sense of safety. So the eyes of the committee and the eyes of the world are focusing on Friday and the opening of the games. And this thought that a last-minute cancellation is not outside the realm of possibility, Nicole.
All right, so Aaron, this continues to develop, obviously, but it seems each and every Olympic Games has its own problems. You saw that firsthand in the two games you were at in person.
Yeah, Nicole, that is a great point. Of course, Atlanta in 1996 is the first you really think about with the bombing. But then there was Sochi and security concerns in Russia. Rio had a Zika outbreak that caused some athletes to skip the games. And on the Korean Peninsula 2 years ago, I took these pictures. The rift between North Korea and the rest of the world was real. At the same event then Vice President Mike Pence was at, so were Northern Korea cheerleaders. But again, Nicole, nothing quite like what we've seen with a global pandemic and what's happening in Japan, so only time will now tell.
Only time will tell. All right, Aaron, thank you. Well, we do have more top stories for you now from Atlanta, Miami, and D.C. First, the back and forth you have to hear between Dr. Fauci and Senator Rand Paul. News Nation's Joe Khalil live at the Capitol tonight. So, Joe, this really turned into a shouting match at some points.
Yeah, they've gone back and forth before, Nicole, but for the first time, this really got intense. Senator Rand Paul basically today implying that the NIH and Dr. Fauci funding and research led directly to the coronavirus outbreak. Well, Dr. Fauci pushed back on that in a very aggressive way today, not only saying that was ridiculous, but that it was scientifically impossible. Here's the exchange.
If anybody is lying here, Senator, it is you.
It's a dance, and you're dancing around this because you're trying to obscure responsibility for 4 million people dying around the world from a pandemic.
I totally resent the lie that you are now propagating, Senator, because if you look at the viruses that were used in the experiments, it is molecularly impossible.
Now, Dr. Fauci fired up more so than we've ever seen. He went on to say that for the record, he wanted to make it clear he thinks Rand Paul doesn't know what he's talking about. Now, that exchange got a lot of attention, Nicole, but the point of that hearing, actually, the focus was about the Delta variant and its rise. For the first time since it has really threatened to, reintroduce lockdowns all over the country. We had the top 4 health experts all in one room today testifying, and they said, bottom line, everybody to a person, said the one thing that would really push back against the Delta variant and its rise is if everybody were to get vaccinated. They gave some alarming statistics. Nicole, 99.5% of all new deaths are people who have not gotten vaccinated, and about 83% of new cases in the country are as a result of the Delta variant. And we know that just yesterday there were about 52,000 new cases all over the country. So a clear mandate here on Capitol Hill. We're hearing the push to try to get people to get vaccinated again, but all of it coming on the heels of what we heard, that tense exchange between Dr. Fauci and Senator Rand Paul. Nicole?
Yeah, I definitely think tense is accurate. They're very fired up, Dr. Fauci. All right, Joe, thank you. All right, let's get you to Brian Enton. He is in Florida, where Delta variant cases are climbing. And Brian, the governor, saying that despite that climbing cases, he really has no plans to bring back those COVID safety protocols.
Yeah, absolutely, Nicole. The increase in COVID hospitalizations has been especially significant here in Florida. At Jackson Health behind me in Miami, their COVID patient count has doubled over the last 2 weeks. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis saying today they will not bring back any of the protocols. There will not be shutdowns here. They will not mandate masks. He says state scientists predicted long ago that there would be another spike this time of year.
Obviously, in July, which I told people months ago, we would see higher prevalence because it's a seasonal virus, and this is the seasonal pattern that it follows in the Sun Belt states, particularly in Florida. If you are vaccinated, though, the number of people that end up hospitalized is almost zero. It's incredibly low.
And another factor, according to the doctors in the hospital behind me, that have to do with this surge is that it is hot and rainy and humid this time of year in Florida. More people are eating inside and doing indoor activities. They say that is also contributing to the spread. Nicole?
Well, Brian, we just heard Joe talking about that nationwide push to try to get people vaccinated. How about in Florida, though? Is there a push to have people vaccinated there?
Yeah, absolutely, Nicole. Here, still a little less than half of the population is vaccinated. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says people should get vaccinated, but at the same time, he says he doesn't want to push people too hard because he feels that has the opposite effect.
All right. Brian Enton live. Thank you. All right, let's get you now to Janelle Fort. She is live in Georgia, where U.S. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene just wrapped up a press conference after she was suspended from Twitter. So, Janelle, tell us what the Congresswoman had to say.
Well, Nicole, she was upset. Her Twitter timeout lasted for 12 hours overnight. Greene was back up and tweeting by this morning, referring to what happened to her as a communist-style Twitter ban. She just wrapped up a news conference in D.C., where we are right now. We're right outside of her Georgia offices in Rome, Georgia, which is about an hour and a half outside of Atlanta. And she defended those tweets that suspended her accounts and took some shots at Dr. Fauci. The ban was prompted by a series of tweets yesterday, where Green argued that COVID-19 isn't dangerous for people unless you're obese or over 65 years old. And she went on to add that vaccines should not be required. Twitter flagged those tweets, marked them as misinformation, and then put her account on a brief pause. And this comes on the heels of President Biden criticizing social media platforms, saying that they don't do enough to filter misinformation. This whole ordeal is reigniting the debate over social media companies censoring politicians and elected officials. And Rep. Green says that tech companies are attacking free speech, preventing the spread of any message that isn't state approved. But now this formulates this new question. It's a question of, is this really a First Amendment issue? I spoke with Jean Polisinski at the Freedom Forum to try and get a little bit of clarity in this. Take a listen.
And a lot of people are crying this is an infringement on their First Amendment rights. Is that really the case?
No, this has really no engagement with the First Amendment. The First Amendment only restrains the government from either stopping us from speaking or punishing us for what we say. This is really a contract dispute. These companies, individual private companies, set out their terms of service. We buy into them when we log on or use their services. And those terms of service say they get to decide what will be on their site.
Now, Twitter's current policy on misinformation bans is on a strike system. People with 2 to 3 strikes, which is what Representative Green had, will be suspended for that 12 hours. If you get 4 strikes, you'll be banned from the platform for 7 days. And then if you hit that 5th strike, you'll be barred indefinitely, Nicole.
All right, so Taylor Greene is back tonight. All right, Janelle, thank you. Continuing our COVID coverage tonight, and Americans being told not to travel to the United Kingdom as COVID cases again rise across the pond. NewsNation White House correspondent Allison Harris live at Reagan National Airport in Virginia. So, Allison, what does this new warning from health officials really mean for travelers?
Well, Nicole, first let me tell you it's a Tuesday night, not the busiest night for air travel, but don't let this quiet airport behind me confuse anyone at home. There are estimates that air travel could even break pre-pandemic records as air travel is coming back with a vengeance as these international flights pick up. But now the CDC and the State Department are urging Americans not to travel to the UK, putting out a warning as the UK is seeing cases rise by 50,000 a day. Now, the CDC is telling people if they are fully vaccinated, they can travel to the UK for necessary travel. The State Department is discouraging travel there outright. Britain requires Americans to quarantine for 10 days. At the same time, Canada just announced yesterday that it will again welcome Americans who are vaccinated on August 9th. Europe allowed American travelers back in June. The U.S. still has a travel entry ban in place for non-U.S. citizens that are coming from Europe and the U.K. The president said last week he hoped to have an answer to the question of whether the travel restrictions will be lifted in the next several days. We've yet to have an answer.
Any decisions about reopening international travel will be guided by our own public health. We give American citizens guidelines. They make their own decisions about whether they travel.
Now, in the meantime, there was a hearing on Capitol Hill today in which there were concerns about whether the TSA is ready for this increase in travel that they've been seeing all summer that's expected to continue through the fall. The TSA saying that they've been trying to hire as many as 6,000 agents since the beginning of this year. Many of those positions remain unfilled, even as the TSA is offering $1,000 signing bonuses. Nicole?
Yeah, this is really a big deal, especially as people are, still planning those summer vacations. All right, Allison, thank you. All right, now let's take you north to western New York, where debris is scattered. Look at this across the neighborhood. This is in the city of Lackawanna, where a 92-year-old woman is now dead after a home exploded this morning. Let's get you to News Nation's Marley Tuskus from our station WVIB. She is live on the scene for us. So, Marley, can you explain what happened here?
Yeah, hey there, Nicole. Well, as you can see, complete and utter rubble right behind us in this once calm and quiet neighborhood. Police, city, and fire officials have been out here all day, not only investigating, but cleaning up all of this debris and dealing with the power outages that happened as a result of this home explosion. Lackawanna fire crews were called to this home just before 7:30 this morning. When they arrived on scene, they found it completely destroyed down to the foundation with a fire burning in the rubble. Medical examiners pronounced 92-year-old Irene Sanic dead at the scene, and police tell us they believe she was the the only person inside the home when it exploded. 7 nearby homes are now damaged. We've heard from neighbors. They told us they could feel it, the ground shake from miles away. We also heard from one person who was outside and witnessed it and said that he could not believe his eyes and what he was seeing. The city's code enforcement is now assessing the other homes for damage. They are concerned about the one that is directly next to the home there, that yellow one that you're seeing there. And as for the cleanup and the investigation into what caused this, we have been told it will take days before both of that is finalized. Nicole, back to you.
All right, Marley, thank you for that update. All right, let's head out west now, where fires are still raging. The massive bootleg fire in Oregon continues engulfing acres of land. So far, more than 2,000 homes are evacuated and another 5,000 are threatened. The flames actually creating so much heat, it's changing the weather pattern. NewsNation's Nancy Liu live for us tonight in L.A. Nancy, are crews having any success trying to contain this fire because it's moving so fast?
Well, very little, Nicole. The bootleg fire is now over 388,000 acres, and it's gonna probably top 400,000 in the next day or two. This 2-week-long firefight in southern Oregon is the nation's largest. Bootleg has already charred an area over 606 square miles. That is bigger than Los Angeles and Las Vegas combined, and the fire is only 30% contained. Smoke and extreme heat from this mega fire have been creating its own weather system, and with firefighting expected to stretch into the fall, this is likely going to be an extended weather event.
The energy released from this fire will outweigh whatever the weather conditions are. So much fuels are burning, and that's why you're seeing 2, 3, maybe even 4 cumulus columns on this fire.
Now, here in California, the Dixie Fire has grown to about 60,000 acres in Butte and Plumas counties. That is not far from Paradise, the community that was wiped out by the deadly Camp Fire 3 years ago. As of today, more than 80 large fires are burning in 13 states, many of them here in the West. It is all exacerbated by hot and dry weather, along with extreme drought conditions like what's behind me. Nicole?
Yeah, so many fires. Nancy, thank you. All right, let's get live to Albert. He's in our weather center. So, Albert, can you explain for us how the bootleg fire is so large that it's actually creating its own weather?
Yeah, this is pretty incredible. The fire is so hot, the smoke is so intense, you have that rising motion of air, and that allows these little fine particulates to rub together, creating different charges in the cloud. I have circled the Dixie Fire. This is the one that Nancy was just talking about, not too far from Paradise. And you see in white, that's not cloud cover, that's smoke, and you'll see some lightning bolts pop on up. So let me show you the science behind this. Again, think of a hot air balloon. Hot air rises, and as the fire allows for this rising column of air, it picks up these very fine smoke particulate, creates different charges in the atmosphere as the particulate rubs together. And when the charges get just right, you get cloud to ground lightning, which in turn could trigger additional fires. You also have this amazing amount of upward motion in the atmosphere and downward motion in the atmosphere, like a thunderstorm, and you get these fire tornadoes that can also increase the spread of the fire and also make this very dangerous for the firefighters trying to battle not just the bootleg fire, but also the Dixie Fire. Here's a look at the latest satellite picture. No lightning right now out of this activity, but strong southwesterly winds driving the smoke off towards the northeast. Gets caught up in the jet stream, and look where the smoke ends up today. As far east as places like New York City, as far south as central Texas, Nicole.
All right, yeah, those fire tornadoes do not look good to me. Albert, thank you. All right, right now, you were looking live at a picture of the smoke from those wildfires that we told you about on the West Coast. This is Boston. People there seeing hazy conditions and poor air quality. And it's a similar scene over New York City today. The haze blanketing Manhattan. Look at that. It's almost like fog. NewsNation's Craig Treadway from our New York station WPIX joining us on the ground. So, Craig, smoke all the way on the other side of the country.
Yeah, and the first clue that most people had here in New York was waking up to a sun that was blood red. It made for an interesting sunrise this morning. And yes, haze is not, a stranger to New York. during the summer. However, with the haze comes the smoke. Now, the Department of Environmental Conservation issued an air quality alert, and they say they haven't done that for a particular matter in terms of smoke from wildfires in a number of years. But they did so today, not just because of the major fires out west, but also the fires in Canada, in Manitoba and Ontario. That smoke mixing with the smoke in the atmosphere and getting very close to the ground here in New York and causing them to decide to declare an air quality alert. And of course, that means people who suffer from breathing problems, respiratory problems such as COPD, asthma, and the like, they were advised to stay inside as much as possible to avoid any problems there.
Yeah, definitely showing us that we are all connected. All right, Craig, thank you. Well, another historic moment for space travel today. Let's give you a look at Jeff Bezos and the Blue Origin crew launching into space this morning. This was the spacecraft's first flight with people on board after 15 test flights. News Nation's Marky Martin was there for all of it. Marky, you are seeing so much history made as of late.
I really am, Nicole. I feel very lucky to be given these assignments. I will say, for 10 minutes and 10 seconds today, Jeff Bezos was not the richest man on planet Earth. His team landed safe and sound back here in Texas desert, and it really was a day to remember, not just for that team, but for onlookers, both young and old.
A sleepy Van Horn, Texas, woke up with the sun this morning.
It's hard not to get a good view here.
Coffee and conversation flowing along Highway 54.
So they're going to be closing the door shortly. It's just brilliant.
Spectators lining a lookout point mere miles from the Blue Origin launch site.
Command engine start.
I need the binocular. And then the Bezos blast off.
I see it, I see it.
Geez, Jeff, he really is king now.
The moment the world has waited for. The founder of Amazon launching into space inside his very own New Shepard rocket, alongside his brother Mark, 82-year-old pilot Wally Funk, and 18-year-old Oliver Damon. 10 minutes, 2,200 miles per hour.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Plus a few minutes of weightlessness to play with. The crew landing safely on desert sand.
And touchdown.
Wally and Oliver becoming the oldest and youngest people to fly through the final frontier. And Bezos feeling the same.
On how it felt? Oh my God! I want to thank every Amazon employee and every Amazon customer because you guys paid for all this.
Yeah, this was quite the day that really helps continue ushering in the beginning of space tourism. And also this morning, Sir Richard Branson sending his congratulations to the entire team, calling their mission impressive. Nicole.
Very, very impressive. Okay, Marky, so did Bezos say anything about more human flights for Blue Origin this year?
Yeah, he did. He actually did mention that. He said there are plans for 2 more human flights later on in 2021. However, we don't know if those will be aboard the New Shepard rocket or not. Still TBD on that. But he also hasn't disclosed how much these tickets are costing yet either, but did disclose that so far they've done $100 million in sales for future seats. Nicole.
All right, Marky, I'm still working on getting that expensed for you here at News Nation. All right, Marky, thank you. All right, lots more to cover
Nicole.
here on Rush Hour. We are counting down to Game 6 of the NBA Finals, giving you a live look at Fiserv Forum, home of the Milwaukee Bucks. This is courtesy of MKE.com. Can the Bucks clinch their first title in 50 years? We'll take you live outside the stadium. And a man under arrest. He's on house arrest, but now facing a murder charge behind bars once again in connection with a new murder case. Why investigators believe he's involved in 2 separate crimes. Time for Sports Nation, giving you a live look outside the Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee from MKE.com. The area, also known as the Deer District, already filling up with fans ahead of Game 6 of tonight's NBA Finals. The Bucks hoping to clinch their second ever championship. The first one came exactly 50 years ago. That was back in 1971 when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was on the team. Let's go out to News Nation's Kyle Malzahn from our Green Bay station, WFRV. He is live outside the stadium. So, Kyle, are fans expecting a championship tonight?
Yeah, Nicole, I've been talking to fans ever since we got here around 1 o'clock, and as they trickle in, I talk to them like, what are you guys feeling for Game 6? And all they can tell me is Bucks in 6. Now, in the Eastern Conference Finals versus the Atlanta Hawks, they've hosted 25,000 fans in the Deer District to see their team beat the Atlanta Hawks. Now, for this series, I'm going to step away, and we're just going to give you a look at the Deer District. And for this series, they put more screens up in hopes to host 65,000 fans tonight for Game 6 of the final. So what could be history? Now, if we take a look at these fans, some of the most popular guys and girls have been Sierra, Sheryl Crow, Alex Rodriguez. Those are the types of personalities to come through the doors at the Pfizer Forum. But in 2013, when this Bucks team drafted Giannis Antetokounmpo, it looked like a long shot to build a championship team. Fast forward to this year, and now they have it. Will the Bucks win their first championship in 50 years? You guys will have to tune in. For now, though, reporting inside of the Pfizer Forum, outside in the Deer District. Nicole, we'll toss it back to you.
All right, Kyle, looks very exciting out there. Thank you for that. All right, still ahead on Rush Hour, a suspected killer out of jail on house arrest, but now behind bars again in connection with a new murder case. That's ahead in True Crime Nation. Plus, Harvey Weinstein being sent back to the West Coast on his way to face a judge in L.A. on more sexual assault charges. A suspected killer released from jail, put on house arrest in Ohio, now charged in a new homicide case. Let's go to Ed Gallick with our Cleveland station WJW for the latest on this.
New murder charge just filed, and look at what we found. The suspect, a man indicted for a murder a long time ago, yet the court did not keep him in jail.
There's a car on fire on Train Avenue.
Calls poured in to 911 about a fire. Last weekend, police found a body in a car. Now the I-Team has found. Police have tied that to Juan Burgos Delgado, a man already charged with murder who's been out of jail on house arrest, wearing an ankle bracelet, waiting for trial.
It's a car on fire where it exploded in Tremont area.
I think it's terrible. I mean, it's just part of the problem in the system.
The Lincoln Heights Block Club disgusted. Someone facing a murder charge, not in jail. The I-Team found Burgos Delgado has been on house arrest, now just charged for the body in the car.
How many others are slipping through? And these people need to be brought to justice and put in jail.
Records show a defense attorney argued for house arrest, writing, Burgos Delgado is confined to a wheelchair and suffers chronic pain from numerous bullet fragments. Judge Wanda Jones let him out. Cuyahoga County prosecutors argued against it, writing, it involved aggravated murder, the highest charge he could be charged with in Ohio. And now he's been arrested under investigation for another murder. No comment from the defense attorney. The county says the ankle bracelet never set off any alarms, showing Burgos Delgado left home. Near the crime scene, the neighborhood working on new development, wondering about a suspected killer with a new murder case.
First and foremost, we have to have safety.
A court complaint just filed sheds new light on the new murder. It says the suspect took part in shooting a man behind his home. The body then put into a car. The same car later found burning. Back to you.
Wow, Ed, all right, thank you for that. A disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein back in Los Angeles tonight. And News Nation's Felicia Bolton is here. So, Felicia, he'll be facing a judge again.
Yeah, that's right, Nicole. The convicted rapist is now facing 11 more counts of sexual assault. The new counts come from 5 different women. And Weinstein is expected to be in court in front of a judge as early as tomorrow. So far, he has been serving a 23-year sentence at maximum security prison in New York after being convicted of raping one woman in 2013 and then forcibly performing oral sex on another woman in 2006. His attorneys argue that the 69-year-old's health is declining and he shouldn't be forced to go back to LA to stand trial on the new charges. They claim his current sentence already amounts to a life sentence. Today, the attorney for one of the California accusers applauded Weinstein's extradition, issuing this statement. It reads in part, the opportunity to hold Weinstein accountable for his actions in California gives a voice to the survivors, including my client, Jane Doe number 4. They deserve to be heard and to have Weinstein answer for his actions. Our hope is that a guilty verdict in California will ensure that Harvey Weinstein will spend the rest of his life behind bars, securing justice for women everywhere. Now, the charges in Los Angeles include 4 counts of forcible rape and several other forced sex acts, which allegedly took place between 2004 and 2013.
All right, so Felicia, any idea when the actual trial will start?
Yeah, that's the big question here. I talked to a few legal experts. They say we could expect a trial to start in the next few months, likely in the fall. Nicole?
All right, Felicia, thank you. Still ahead on Rush Hour, $1 billion settlement in the aftermath of the nationwide opioid crisis, but experts say it's just the first step on a long road to justice. And doctors say an officer's quick thinking likely saved a life after a stabbing in New York. How he stopped the bleeding with a bag of potato chips. New today, a huge settlement connected to the opioid epidemic in the state of New York. News Nation's Tom Negevin live from New York City tonight. So, Tom, we're talking some significant money here.
We're talking about $1 billion, Nicole, and that may just be the beginning. When do you ever hear someone say that? But that's what the feds here are saying today, and I'll tell you why. Other negotiations are still in the works. This deal, they say, $1 billion, a pretty good start, announced in the middle of a jury trial here in Manhattan. That trial will still go on, but this deal removes or recuses 3 defendants from it and splits a $1.18 billion settlement among them. 3 major drug distributors, McKesson Corporation, Cardinal Health, and AmerisourceBergen, whose actions New York's Attorney General Letitia James alleges fueled millions of addictions in America, in fact, actually profited from them. And tonight, there are negotiations still underway involving other state and local governments all over the country on a settlement that could total $26 billion. Sources saying an agreement, a settlement in those negotiations could be announced within days. Now we want to show you some video of the toll of all this and what prosecutors have been talking about. This is video you'll only see here on News Nation because our crews have been working on this story for a couple of months now out of Philadelphia. This is Northeast Philadelphia, the Kensington neighborhood, and what's believed to be one of the largest open-air drug markets in the nation, if not the world. It's a remarkable and really disturbing thing to see. People crushing and shooting prescription pharmaceutical opiates out in the open, coming from all over the country to this open-air drug market. We found addicts there. A large portion of the money from the settlement will actually benefit them. At least that's the plan, helping people to deal with addictions. First, though, it all has to get through the courts, and that may be the rub. But there's more moving through the courts right now. As mentioned, that $26 billion deal still in the works, Nicole. Again, we're expecting some word on that this week.
All right, yeah, Tom, taking a look at that video, addiction has affected so many families. All right, Tom, thank you.
In such a horrible way.
Horrible. All right, let's stay in New York City for you. A police officer there being praised for his swift action that saved a man's life. Officer Ronald Kennedy stopped a man from bleeding out using 2 household items. We're talking a bag of chips and a roll of tape. News Nation's Nicole Johnson from our station WPIX in New York spoke to that life-saving officer.
This police body cam footage shows an officer thinking outside the box to save a man's life.
Go get me a bag of potato chips right now.
That is Officer Ronald Kennedy requesting a potato chip bag to cover a stabbing victim's wound. It was quick thinking and his experience as an EMT before joining the police department. Kennedy says he knew right away there was no time to second guess.
In that split second, I saw blood coming, a lot of blood coming from the chest, and I worried about air getting into that puncture wound as well.
And in that split second, Officer Kennedy thought about one more thing that could help.
Go in there and get me tape.
Tape also did the trick to help stop the bleeding.
That would make it very complicated to breathe and eventually lead to death. So it was imperative we get it sealed up immediately.
It was here at the corner of 125th Street and Lenox Avenue about 2 weeks ago. A dispute between the victim and another man escalated to a brutal stabbing. Within minutes, the officers had everything under control and the victim was rushed to a hospital. He's expected to be okay. And they say if they had to do it all over again, well, they would. In New York, Nicole Johnson, News Nation.
Kudos to Officer Kennedy. All right, Sports Illustrated making waves, breaking barriers with this year's annual swimsuit issue. Why this year's covers are different from any in years past. Plus, we're just hours away from the premiere of a highly anticipated dating show. We are previewing Netflix's Sexy Beasts. It's next in Entertainment Nation. All right, some entertainment headlines now. Sports Illustrated breaking barriers with their new covers. Doug Kolk joins us live from our LA station, KTLA, with the details. Breaking barriers here, Doug.
Yeah, you know, Nicole, so when the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition hits shelves later this week, you can expect to see 3 different covers with 3 different cover models. Now let's go over who is going to grace the cover. First, we have Lena Bloom. Lena becomes the first ever transgender model to cover the swimsuit edition. It comes inside with a really heartfelt message, a write-up that basically describes her life and the constant adversity that she faced growing up. She says she grew up hiding who she really was, and now she is a symbol of beauty. Now, the other cover models, one, we have rapper Megan Thee Stallion and tennis star Naomi Osaka. Now, one important note here is Naomi participated in the shoot back in December, and that was before she decided to take a break from tennis.
All right, Doug, and all women of color there, too. All right. Doug, here is one that we here in the newsroom are very excited about this. Some people maybe have had enough of dating shows, but there is a new one premiering. It's on Netflix tomorrow. It kind of mixes the best or maybe the worst of The Masked Singer and Love is Blind. So, Doug, please explain.
So every time I hear somebody talk about this show, they say, 1, it's awful, and 2, I can't wait to watch. This show takes guilty pleasure viewing to a whole nother level. So we've been hearing about Sexy Beasts for a while, and tomorrow is the big debut on Netflix. So the premise, like you said, it's best described picturing Masked Singer and Love is Blind combined together. The dating show where the contestants wear masks and prosthetics to conceal their faces. So, Nicole, I'm guessing the whole goal here is to base the show off of compatibility and personality rather than looks? I guess that's what they're going for?
We'll see, Doug. We'll see. I'm honestly speechless, and it takes a lot for me to be speechless. All right,
You
Doug.
know the second those masks are revealed, the internet's going to go on fire.
Absolutely. Doug, thank you. We appreciate it. All right, a longtime Trump ally and one-time chairman of the president's inauguration committee under arrest, accused of acting as a foreign agent. We have that and more top stories from around your nation. We continue tonight live from our News Nation headquarters here in Chicago. Here are some other top stories we are watching right now. The Olympic Games could be in jeopardy. The chief of the Tokyo 2020 Games organizing committee saying he cannot rule out a last-minute cancellation of the Games as more teams start arriving in Tokyo and COVID cases increase. Olympic competition actually starts tomorrow. Opening ceremonies are Friday. The U.S. State Department has issued its highest warning against travel to the United Kingdom. That's due to an increase in COVID cases. The CDC issuing a similar travel warning for the UK, which remains in effect till at least next month. The UK is seeing thousands of new cases now each day. And the western wildfires now affecting other parts of the country. Air quality advisories have been issued for Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and New York. The smoke also affecting air quality in parts of the Midwest, with blankets of haze reported. And the chair of former President Donald Trump's 2017 inaugural committee has been arrested in California. Prosecutors allege Thomas Joseph Barrack and others conspired to influence foreign policy positions to benefit the United Arab Emirates. Barrack was one of 3 men charged in New York federal court. And that is all for Rush Hour tonight. Thank you for joining me. A reminder, you can follow me on social media. Just search Nicole Burley on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.